Hi there, it's Konrad here from Grover's Homestead. I want to talk to you about what seeds can you start in February. So February obviously is still a winter time, and you can't start all of the seeds. It will vary. What seeds can you start based on where you live? That's the most important thing, and the second important thing is your place. Where are you going to start them? Do you have nice indoor space to start them? Do you have maybe small little polytunnel, maybe a conservatory where you can put your seeds so they will have plenty of light? Or maybe you gonna put small little grow light, LED light, they very energy efficient, but you're gonna provide enough sunlight, well, not sunlight, enough light for them to grow, where the light is still scarce because we are in winter. So there's only a couple of things over here for us anyway in southeast of Ireland that we can start outside in February, and you can go and start potatoes, put them in the ground. You can put them in the ground. If you have a garden with the beds, you can put them over there straight in, and you can do onion sets. You can actually buy onion sets just about now in February, and you can put them in. The only thing I would advise with the onion sets, I would definitely mulch them with the straw or something like this, just to give them that little bit extra protection for the frost. Or you can put the frost cover on top of them, just to give them that extra protection. So potatoes and onions outside. If you don't provide extra heat source, you can forget about doing tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers and stuff like this time of the year. You have to wait a good bit later, because when they're gonna go outside, it has to be past your last frost date. So what else you can do right now in February? You can definitely start peas. You can start broad beans. In fact, you can start broad beans in October or November, and they will be nice and ready, and you can put them out. You can plant them into the bigger containers now, and you're gonna have your very first crop in late spring. Peas and broad beans, they basically the first veggies that you can harvest in your garden outside the greens. So peas, broad beans, and then if you're gonna start any other seeds now, you can start basically all of the brassica family. So you can start your cabbage, your cauliflower, your broccoli, kale. Kale will do really nice now. You have to take into consideration that you're gonna start all of those greens, all of those seeds inside. So either you have a nice small little polytunnel greenhouse, or you're gonna start them inside in the pots, and you're gonna put them on your windowsill. Make sure it's a south-facing windowsill, so when the sun is out, the plant's gonna get as much sun as possible. Or you're gonna put them in, if you have a sunroom, the conservatory, or if you're gonna put them under light. So, and because they're gonna be inside of your house, they're gonna be in nice stable temperature, so they should grow pretty nice. But you have to take it to the consideration where you're gonna transplant them, where they're gonna go after they're gonna be ready to transplant, to go into the ground. You can't keep all of those plants in the pots. Like for example cabbage and broccoli, that stuff needs to go into the ground, in either outside or in a polytunnel. But even if you're gonna do them outside, what we do over here, we do spring batch of kale. We sow them. We're gonna show them to you, and then they're gonna go out, and we're gonna put the frost cover, the Agribond, on top of them. And basically during the day they open, and for the night we cover them with that, and they grow really nice, much actually nicer than in the heat of the summer. You can also start all of the greens, your lettuce, your rockets, your mizunas. They will grow nice now, quite slow from the start. They need to have stable temperature, but you'll be able to cut and comb again and again and again. And you can do these in pots, in any sorts of containers, and you can keep them at home as long as you provide them enough feed in the soil that you're going to plant them in, and of course enough light and moisture. You can't forget to water your plants. You can also start your herbs, your annual herbs, for sure. That you can start them now. Your coriander, for example, you can start that. You can start parsley, and they be done pretty fast, and you'll be able to start harvesting them. And then if you want to put another batch, that's going to be ready to go outside. You can also start green onions, the scallions or bunching onions, whatever you want to call them, now, and they're going to be ready because you can actually transplant those. You can start your beetroot plants because you can really easily transplant beetroot plants, so they can get a head start, get ready, and then you can go transplant them outside. So how are you going to transplant them? We're not going to do instructional video about how to do the seeds. I'm just going to quickly show you. First you need to get the seeds. So especially now these days it takes a little bit longer. If you can get the seeds in your local garden center or hardware store, yes, go get them. Or order seeds. I will definitely encourage you to order organic seeds instead of conventional seeds. So get your seeds and think what you're going to use for planting them. You can use the trays like this. So you see there's 12 modules over here. That will be perfect for your pea plants, for your for the broad beans, for cabbage, for kale. It might be a little bit too big maybe for the greens, for lettuce, but if you only want to grow it for your family, so 12 lettuce heads, that'll be plenty. And then in a couple of weeks time you can plant another, you can sow another one of those. So that's definitely not going to cut for potatoes or onions. But for potatoes, what you can do, there's so many different ways you can do potatoes. You can get 2 tires, put them flat, fill them with soil, and you can plant potatoes inside of those. And that will actually keep them nice and isolated, the soil and the tires and everything. They're going to do just fine in the setup like this. Then you need to look at what you're going to plant them. We use Classman organic potting compost for young veggies, for young plants. So you can get that, but use whatever you can in your situation and in your location. So like I said, this is not instructional video how to sow seeds, how to start the plants. We actually gonna do that type of video later on our channel, so stay tuned for that. So as you see, these are some of our starts over here. So you can see the peas, you can see kale, you can see spinach, lettuce, chard, there's some cabbage, we have some leeks, but as you see we provide extra light and we provide extra heat. They are in the polytunnel, but even when we had a big freeze a couple of weeks ago where we had minus Celsius temperatures for 3 days in a row, it was still above zero over here, and during the night we cover them with the fleece. So that's the fleece, the agribond I was telling you about. You get that in your garden center, and basically you just cover it with a blanket overnight, and that will stop the freeze, because basically the soil is warmer, its temperature is rising from the ground, and that will help to keep the heat with the plants. So you see, we start them in a tray. Obviously we work on a much bigger scale, but you can scale it down. You can have just a few plants of each variety. If you have a small polytunnel already, what you can do, you can start your potatoes inside the polytunnel, or you could start your carrots inside the polytunnel. So that way you're going to have a really early crop, much faster than if you would plant them outside. The only thing you have to take into consideration is that these are long growing plants, so they're gonna take up that space for a much longer period of time, and they're gonna go into the very late spring, almost into the summer. So if you're happy to tie that space with those plants over there, that's fine, but take that to the consideration. Another tip that we find out really hard way last year is, especially when you're doing your pea, when you're starting peas, for example, is to put mouse traps around them, because that time of the year the food is scarce, the mice, the voles and all the other little critters, they're looking for food. And we had our peas devastated last year, first batch of peas anyway, by the mice. So get a few mouse traps, set them up, and your plants should be safe enough. So as you see, we do all those plants over here. Because we run organic market garden, so our scale is much bigger than any sort of home scale, homesteading scale, growing just for your family. But you can, like I said, scale it down. So we're gonna do instructional video how to sow the seeds step by step, and how to take care of them, and then transplanting them into the ground. So stay tuned. If you would like to see video like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification button, so YouTube will let you know when that video is coming up, so you're not gonna miss it. But if you like that video, please hit the like, comment down below, and thank you very much for watching. Bye.